So you're an old pro. Okay. We're thrilled to be here. How are you? Good to see you, Robert. And obviously, we're extraordinarily grateful to Andy for his service in the Marine Corps, and for Edith doing what she's doing in our school system. And we can't either. And so I just want everybody to think about those kinds of issues as you go into the polling place in November. Who's going to prioritize our young people to make sure they've got the skills they need to succeed over the long term? Nothing's going to be more important in terms of our long-term success. I have consistently, even before I was a presidential candidate, but when I was a U.S. Senator and when I was running for U.S. Senator, said that we have to move forward on comprehensive immigration reform. Let's make sure that we're cracking down on employers who are taking advantage of undocumented workers to not pay them overtime or not pay them minimum wage or not give them bathroom breaks. Let's make sure that we're cracking down on employers to treat all workers fairly. And let's provide a pathway to citizenship for those who are already here, understanding that, they broke the law, so they're going to have to pay a fine and pay back taxes. And I think learn English, make sure that they don't have a criminal record. There are some hoops that they're going to have to jump through, but giving them a pathway is the right thing to do. And I'm always suspicious of a politics that is dividing people instead of bringing them together. So one of our big advantages is we've got a younger population than Europe, for example, or Japan, because we welcome immigrants, and they generally don't. And that means that our economy is more vital, and we've got more people in the workforce who are going to be out there working and starting businesses and supporting us when we're retired and making sure Social Security is solvent. All those things are important. So this is a priority that I continue to have. Frankly, the problem I've had right now is that, and I don't want to get into sort of inside baseball about Washington, but basically the rules in the United States Senate have evolved so that if you don't have 60 votes, you can't get anything through the United States Senate right now. And several years ago, we had 11 Republican senators who were willing to vote for comprehensive immigration reform, including John McCain. They've all reversed themselves. I can't get any of them to cooperate, and I don't have 60 Democrats in the Senate. And what really is probably the most important thing I can do right now to keep people in their homes is to make sure the economy is growing so that they don't feel job insecurity. That's probably the thing that's going to strengthen the housing market the most over the next couple of years. If we've got a growing economy, unemployment is gradually being reduced, then people are going to feel more confident. They're going to be able to make their mortgage payments. New homeowners, people who are potentially buyers of homes, are going to say, you know what, I don't mind entering the market because I think things have sort of bottomed out. That starts lifting prices, and that gets us on a virtuous cycle instead of a negative cycle. But it's going to take some time. We're working our way out of overbuilding in the housing market, a lot of not very sensible financial arrangements in the housing market, and we've got to get back to sort of a traditional, more common sense way of thinking about housing, which is, if you want a house, you got to save for a while. You got to wait till you have 20% down. You should go for a mortgage that you know you can afford. There shouldn't be any surprises out there, right? That kind of traditional thinking about saving and thinking about the house not as something that is always going up 20% every year and you're going to flip and take out home equity loans and all that. We've got to have a different attitude, which reflects what you talked about, more of an attitude that this is your home. This is not just a way to make quick money. People sometimes ask, well, how, boy, you're working pretty hard and got all these issues coming at you, and how do you sort of stay focused and sane? It's hearing stories like yours, where if we did something that actually helps a family stay in their home, or you meet a a mom who says, my kids now getting health insurance and they weren't getting it before, you feel a great satisfaction. And small businesses can grow into larger businesses, can grow into bigger businesses. I met a business in Seattle, Washington, that started off as a small mom-and-pop plumbing operation. And they now have 1,000 employees, and they're ranked as one of the top 10 companies to work for in the state of Washington. They've got unionized tradesmen working alongside computer experts who diagram how the entire energy system of a school or a hospital works, and then they go in there and they redo it soup to nuts. Now, we made a huge investment in the Recovery Act on this issue of clean energy and weatherization. But this is, again, an example of where there's just a strong difference between the two parties. The other side, they really have not shown much of an interest in promoting this. And by the way, last point I'll make, I can't agree with you enough about the parent thing. I was on an interview with Matt Lauer yesterday, and they asked me about parents. I said, look, Malia and Sasha, as wonderful as they are great students, but if Michelle and I weren't supervising them, they'd come home, they'd turn on the TV, they'd watch TV all night, or be on their computers, or talking to their friends, right? So even in the White House, the key ingredient is parenting, and just making sure your kids are focused on school. Teachers can help, but parents, they've got to get those kids started in the right direction.